Hello folks, well this is Miguel from the Embargo Man. So I heard so many things about this and I've seen so many videos, okay? So if there is a song to be very popular in Africa, I mean in certain countries in Africa, it would be called God Bless China for Making Rolex. Like if a Westerner buys a Chinese Rolex from an African vendor at a Swiss made price, he's doing a great good deed. Means getting ripped off buying a Chinese made Rolex for a Swiss made price. I mean, it is true. I mean, Rolex scams is in the same category of African scams that you go see of, you used to have other African scams, like like the Nigerian prince scam and this and that, and they rip people off and they get all your money, right? So I mean, there is a 100% chance you buying a Chinese made Rolex for 10 grand, all right? So what it is with these scams is people doesn't even know when they're getting a fake Rolex, right? So I mean, there are a bunch of people getting scammed over a Rolex watch, right? So I mean, this is impossible to say this. Look, there's fake Rolex watches and they sell it out in the street in Chinatown, in New York City, around there, all right? And they were selling for $50, $100, something like that. Those same watches they sold online for the price of the original, for 10 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. Even if it's a fake Rolex of the cheapest one, like they're gonna sell it for, I mean, 9 grand or something, or I mean 1 grand. They sell that fake Rolex for 1 grand. Believe it or not, they could even sell a fake Rolex, the cheapest version of a fake of the fake Rolex watch that you find in the streets for $50 online for 1 grand or 2 grand, right? So what it is with these scams going out there is people were buying this and they thought they're buying a Rolex watch. It's not just in these websites that's saying, okay, we're selling Rolex watches, right? I mean, the Rolex watches you sell there, I mean, the thing, how this thing works with this Rolex watch scam schemes, all right? So the best bet is to buy a Rolex watch at your local authorized Rolex dealer. I mean, authorized Rolex store that they only sell Rolex watches, all right? So you know it is authenticity, that this is a real Rolex watch that you're buying. You're not buying a fake stuff, all right? Online, on the other hand, I mean, what it is this. So I mean, the person somewhere, I mean, the seller lives in Nigeria. When the seller lives in Nigeria, he's selling Rolex online for the price of the original, selling the fake stuff for the price of the real thing. He would get a bunch of boxes, bring those watches from China. When they bring those watches from China, this is where it says, God bless China for making Rolex song kind of thing, all right? God bless China for making Rolex. I mean, fake Rolex. You sell a fake Rolex for a Swiss made price. And somebody who's a fool says, oh yeah, this is, I'm gonna buy a Rolex watch online. Swiss made, authentic, the real thing, genuine. And then people bought it and they buy the watch. The person who buys the watch don't know that the person's so ignorant about it and then say, this is a fake Rolex watch. Probably they say have the made in China logo and it says Swiss made or something. That would be the possibility. Part of the person goes to the, I mean, Rolex watches doesn't have open cases. It is closed. You don't see through the mechanism. All right. So the person goes to the jeweler, says, oh, look, I pay for a Submariner 10 grand or 20 grand. Is this the real thing? And then it's have and I bought it brand new. The person says, oh yeah, we have the same watches, sell it for 20 grand. The person who is from the authorized Rolex dealer says, whoa, when you bought this Rolex, it is fake. Believe me, it is fake. Can you imagine that? A fake Rolex watch from China. When coming from China, it arrives by an African vendor. The African vendor sees the price. Okay, let's sell this Rolex Submariner. This is the fake one. I'm going to sell this one for example 40 grand, like $50 it costs, or $100 is a fake one, like that. I have an Invicta, it's like gold and let's say blue casing, like this Invicta right there, right? But he put Rolex. It's a fake Rolex. Bought it like 100 grand and he sell it for 50 grand. Where an actual original Rolex costs 50 grand. The person online buys the fake watch, thought he was in the original, and maybe the person who bought the original watch went to the jewelry store, an authorized Rolex store, and they said, you know what, sir? Your watch is fake. He got scammed. And what that means, he got scammed. And this is about why the thing about a song one day kind of having God bless China for making Rolex would be popular. I mean, people are gonna get scammed for a fake Rolex watch. I mean, a fake Rolex watch is like people getting ripped off. I mean, I could tell you this, sir. I could tell you this, people. If you wanted to buy a Rolex watch wherever you are, make sure that you buy the real thing. Make sure that, like, most likely audience living in the United States or living in, I'm talking about the people living in Africa or something like that. Go to an authorized Rolex store. Make sure your Rolex watch is genuine. If it's fake, they're selling you a fake one, ripping people off. All right, so because the people that sell the fakes online are selling the fakes for the price of the original. I mean, this is what the Rolex scam comes by, right? Even though eBay, Amazon, and these places that they sell Rolex watches, you know what? I could tell you what. If you want to buy a Rolex watch, don't go online. Forget online. Don't buy a Rolex watch online. Always buy it at an official Rolex retailer. So, and if you want to spend more money to buy a fake Rolex watch, for example, get another brand. It could be these watches that, like, from Timex or another company, or Invicta, that makes homages and they look like Rolex, but they say the company of the manufacturer as what they do the homage watches. That way you're safe about it. You're buying something legal. And then fake watches is something illegal. I mean, people could sell it in the streets, I mean, for $50. And what you're supporting the same people that could buy the fake watches and other scam. And when they do other scams like romance scams, and that says, oh, give me some money, and then you're gonna get ripped off and you don't have a dime, right? So they're helping out them. I mean, I don't know if they're doing fake watches, fake Rolex watches in Africa, but that's a possibility instead of bringing them in from China, right? So what's going to happen with this is that once you buy a fake Rolex watch, I mean, on eBay, online, most likely is coming from somewhere, example, South Africa, or perhaps Ghana or Nigeria. But your watch is Swiss made? No. Your watch, you're paying 30 grand from a vendor in Ghana or from a vendor in Nigeria or one of those African countries, comes from China, not from Switzerland, but from China. And then you notice it, what, Swiss Made watch, but why it says made in China? Why they have a little tag that says made? If you know there's a little tag made, it says made in China, you know it's fake. You know that that's not a real Rolex watch. It's a fake Rolex watch. So you're gonna be better safe than sorry not buying a Rolex watch online. If you want to buy a fake Rolex watch, it's illegal. You are supporting the people who are going to do them romance scams and all the other scams that is out there, right? So, and even they have Russian scams too, all right? I mean, you're supporting scammers, people that want to scam. You buy a Rolex watch for 50 bucks. You're supporting people that sell those fake Rolex watches for 50 bucks for 10, 30, $40,000, all right? For a fake Rolex watch that they selling online right there. They're sitting in their ass off somewhere in Nairobi or somewhere like that, bringing a bunch of watches from China, and they're selling it for $30,000 or $40,000, right? And then that's the kind of scams you gotta be aware of. I mean, this is it with these watch scams. I mean, what I'm gonna tell you, everybody, if you want to buy a genuine high-end, I mean, this is not just Rolex watches. It happened with Patek Philippe. Probably there's some fake Omegas and all that stuff. I mean, they comes from vendors somewhere in a third world country, most likely Africa, and they selling those fake watches for the price of the real thing. And when you buy it, when you pay for the price of the real thing, you get the fake stuff. You get a counterfeit. You get a phony. Why? Because they want to make money for selling fake Rolex watches. You know why? Because they're living so poor in poverty. I mean, not just watches, Gucci bags, Louis Vuittons, and all this stuff, and all these high-end luxury items, luxury luggages, luxury bags and purses. I mean, it makes more sense. I could agree. They're living in total poverty. They cannot even pay the bills. What is the most necessary thing to do? I mean, do you want to sell the fake Gucci bags for $100 or the fake Gucci bag for $2,000? It's more sense to sell a fake. It makes more sense to sell the fake Gucci bag for the price of the real thing, because you need some money for income. In other words, you need to rip the person off. Or in other words, ripping people off is doing a really good deed. You're helping somebody who is extremely poor by paying 30 grand for a fake Rolex watch. You're doing a great good deed, paying $2,000, $10,000, even $4,000, $40,000 for a fake Louis Vuitton bag or a fake Gucci bag. Doing a great good deed because you're helping somebody in extreme poverty. No, they just want to rip people off, all right? You're going to get ripped off, you're going to get fooled and everything like that. And then this is why I will tell you this. Do not buy fake Rolex watches online. Do not buy anything high-end like a Gucci bag or anything online. They're selling you the fake stuff for the price of the real thing. And then this is why I say aware. Do you want to be aware? Do you want to do a blessing for somebody extreme poverty? Buy a fake Rolex watch for $30,000. Buy a fake Rolex price for the price of the real thing. You're doing a great good deed. Oh yeah. You're getting ripped off because that person wants to get money and to help other people in extreme poverty. Yes, it makes more sense for a person who are extremely poor to sell a fake Rolex watch for 30 grand, right? For $30,000 or for $10,000. It makes more sense for somebody who lives in a country where it's extreme poverty to sell a fake watch for $30,000. it doesn't make sense. You cannot keep up with the bills selling a fake watch for 50 grand. You keep up with the bills selling a fake watch for $30,000 for the price of the real Rolex watch, right? And that is a person that is getting ripped off. The fool is, you're the fool. All right, so let me tell you people, you are the fool that you buying the fake Gucci bag for the price of the real thing online. You are the fool you're buying and you're paying $50,000 for a fake Rolex watch online that they selling you to say it's the real thing. And you, my friends, to the people living over there, if you want to make a song called God Bless China for Making Rolex, go ahead. Go ahead. Make up some lyrics. Make up all this. Because, I mean, it would be a very popular song in African nations. But that means that singing God Bless China for Making Rolex means that it's great for somebody in the US, Japan, Europe to pay 50 grand or 10 grand for a fake Rolex watch, and it's a blessing that you receive the money to sell a fake Rolex watch for the price of the real thing, right? I mean, well, you are the scammer. You're the one that ripped people off. And why? Why do you want to rip people off for selling a fake Rolex watch? And why do you say that you want to make a song called God Bless China for Making Rolex? That means that God Bless China for Making Rolex is that you buy a bunch of Chinese made Rolex watches that you over there in Nairobi or some town over there in Africa, that you are wanting to sell this fake Rolex watches for 10 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, or even $100,000 for a fake Rolex watch or a fake Patek Philippe or something like that. That is, yeah, bless them for making that. Well, we could sell it for we could rip people off in North America, Europe, and Japan, and other established countries, right? That is wrong. That is wrong, because you're the fool making other people's fool, thinking, oh yeah, this is a Rolex watch, or this is a high-end Swiss brand watch. It's original. It's made in Switzerland. Actually, the person buying the watch is actually paying 30 grand or 50 grand for a watch that is made in China, and that is a counterfeit, that is a knockoff. It says the Rolex name, but it's not the genuine Rolex. The same watches that people in New York or somewhere across Chinatown are selling it for $50 or $100, you're selling it in your continent, in Nigeria or Ghana. That same Rolex, what they're selling it, you're selling it for the price of a Swiss made Rolex watch, and are actually buying a Chinese made fake Rolex watch for 50 grand. And for people out there, and let me tell you what, screw the scammers, let them screw themselves. You think if you want to pay 50 grand making a good deed buying a fake Rolex watch from an African vendor, you're just fooling yourself, right? You're helping them, but you're not helping yourself. You let these vendors ripping you off as they rip off other people in other scams. I mean, the Rolex scams is categorized as another African scam. All right, so people who make about saying about other Rolex scam or YouTube channels who finding out Rolex scams. I mean, I'm talking about you looking at fake Rolex. Go to Africa and go to China. China, where they make the watches. Africa, where they're gonna sell the fake watches for the price of the real thing online. So people in the USA, so people in America, could buy the fake Rolex watch online thinking that there's the real thing, and they're getting a Chinese made watch, the same watch that they sell online for the price of the original. They could find those watches that they sell online out in the street for $100 or $50 around there. So take care of yourself. Peace out. Be careful. And please subscribe to the Embargo Man channel. We're gonna say another thing that we could have on other videos on other topics. It would be more interesting to let you know what kind of topics you want. And please leave your comments for the people you say, oh wow, I never knew that these vendors are selling watches came from Africa, or buying Rolex watches that are from China that are fake, and they're selling them for the price of the real thing. And others are gonna curse me or screw you, right? Or you know what? Goodbye, everybody, and take care and have a nice day and have a great week. See you on the next video.